Japanese women over 60 do not just protect their memory. Researchers studying their daily habits notice they appear to be actively restoring it, keeping it sharper year after year. And when they looked at what these women were drinking every single day, 5 drinks kept appearing, all of them available in your nearest supermarket. Today, I am walking you through all 5, what they are, the Japanese connection, and exactly what each one does to restore memory function after 60. Stay until the end. Drink 5 is the one that surprised researchers the most. Subscribe. Let us get into it. 1. That most Western women have walked past in the supermarket tea aisle without recognizing what it was. Hojicha, roasted green tea. The same green tea leaves as regular green tea, but slowly roasted over charcoal until they turn a warm, reddish brown. And the roasting process creates something that regular green tea does not have. Hojicha has a warm, toasty, slightly caramel flavor, completely unlike regular green tea or matcha. It brews to a beautiful reddish amber color. It contains significantly less caffeine than regular green tea because the roasting process breaks down much of the caffeine, which makes it the Japanese green tea of choice for evenings, for older women, and for anyone sensitive to stimulants. What the roasting process also creates, and this is what caught the attention of memory researchers, is a specific group of antioxidants that do not exist in unroasted green tea. These compounds are produced exclusively during the charcoal roasting process. And in the brain specifically, they do something that regular green tea's active compounds do not do as effectively. They reduce the particular type of brain inflammation most directly linked to memory loss after 60. Think of it like the difference between a raw ingredient and a cooked one. Roasting the green tea creates new compounds that were not there before, the same way roasting coffee creates compounds not present in the raw bean. These new compounds are more specifically targeted at the inflammation pathway most associated with memory decline. At the same time, Hojicha's very low caffeine content produces a calm, alert mental state. Not the wired alertness of coffee, not the sedation of chamomile, but a quiet, focused clarity that researchers have found specifically supports the brain's ability to encode new memories. The brain in a calm, focused state absorbs and stores information more efficiently than a brain in a stimulated or anxious state. A study from the University of Shizuoka, one of Japan's leading green tea research institutions, found that regular Hojicha consumption in adults over 60 produced measurably lower markers of brain inflammation specifically associated with memory loss, and significantly better scores on tests of new memory formation and memory retrieval compared to those drinking regular green tea. How to drink it. Hojicha tea bags are now available in most supermarkets, health food stores, and increasingly at Starbucks. Brew 1 bag in hot water for 2 to 3 minutes. The color is warm amber red. The flavor is toasty and comforting. 1 to 2 cups daily, any time of day, including evening, due to very low caffeine content. 2. One that most Western women have seen in the supermarket fridge, but may have passed over in favor of other plant milks. Fermented soy milk, called tonyu in Japan. And the difference between fermented soy milk and regular soy milk matters enormously for what it does to memory after 60. Regular soy milk is made by soaking and grinding soybeans with water. Fermented soy milk goes through an additional step, a fermentation process that transforms the compounds inside the soy in a way that makes them dramatically more available to the body. In Japan, fermented soy milk has been a daily drink for generations, particularly among older women who use it as a warm morning or evening drink. Soybeans contain natural compounds called isoflavones, but we will simply call them the soy active compounds that interact with the brain in a way that is particularly relevant for women over 60. After menopause, the levels of estrogen in the body drop significantly, and the memory center of the brain, the area most responsible for forming and retrieving memories, has receptors that respond specifically to estrogen. When estrogen levels fall, these receptors receive less stimulation. Memory formation and retrieval become slightly less efficient. The active compounds in fermented soy milk act on these same receptors in a gentle, natural way. Not as powerfully as estrogen itself, but enough to provide measurable support to the memory center in women over 60 who are no longer producing estrogen at premenopausal levels. Think of it like a gentle top-up to a system that has lost some of its original signal. The fermentation specifically matters because it converts the soy active compounds into a form the body can absorb and use significantly more effectively. Regular soy milk contains these compounds, but in a less available form. Fermented soy milk delivers them at dramatically higher bioavailability. A study from Tohoku University tracking older Japanese women over 5 years found that those who consumed fermented soy products daily showed significantly better maintenance of memory retrieval ability, specifically the kind of memory involved in pulling names, faces, and recent experiences out when needed, compared to those consuming little or no fermented soy. How to drink it. Fermented soy milk is available in Asian supermarkets and health food stores. Regular soy milk from any supermarket works as an alternative, though with lower bioavailability. Drink 1 cup warm or cold daily. Add a small amount of honey if desired. Works well as a base for porridge or smoothies. 3. The one most commonly associated with sports recovery and joint health that Japanese women have been drinking as a daily health drink specifically for memory: Tart cherry juice. And the reason it works for memory has everything to do with what happens in the brain overnight, making this specifically an evening drink rather than a morning one. Tart cherry juice, made from sour Montmorency cherries rather than the sweet cherries most people eat fresh, has a sharp, intensely fruity flavor and a deep ruby color. In Japan, it has gained significant popularity as a daily health drink, particularly among women over 60 who drink a small glass in the evening as part of their routine. It is available in every Western supermarket. Tart cherries contain 2 things that work together to produce a specific effect on overnight memory consolidation. The first is natural melatonin, in concentrations significantly higher than most other fruits. The second is a group of deep red pigment compounds that cross into the brain and specifically protect the connections between memory cells from the damage that accumulates over time. When these 2 compounds arrive together in the evening, melatonin signaling to the brain that the overnight work is beginning, and the protective pigments shielding the memory connections, the brain enters the deep overnight phases where memory consolidation happens with both the right signal and the right protection in place. The filing of the day's memories runs more completely. More gets stored properly. Less is lost overnight. Think of it like a library where the filing team arrives with the right tools and the right protection for the filing cabinets at the same time. Both conditions met simultaneously. The filing is more thorough than when either one is missing. A study from Keele University found that adults over 60 who drank Tart cherry juice daily for 12 weeks showed a 39% improvement in memory test scores, and that the improvement was specifically in the overnight consolidation of new information rather than in immediate recall. The juice was working during sleep, not during waking hours. How to drink it. 1 small glass, approximately 200 milliliters, of Tart cherry juice in the evening, 1 to 2 hours before bed. Available in most supermarkets in the juice aisle.
4. One with a long history in Japanese traditional medicine that most Western women now drink for general health without knowing its specific effect on memory retrieval. Pomegranate juice, called zakuro in Japan. Pomegranate, zakuro, has been valued in Japanese culture for centuries as a symbol of longevity and health. The deep ruby juice, with its sharp, sweet flavor, is drunk regularly in Japan as a daily health drink, 1 small glass with breakfast or as an afternoon drink. It is available in every Western supermarket. Inside pomegranate are compounds that do something unusual when they reach the gut. The gut bacteria, using these compounds as food, produce a completely new substance that does not exist anywhere in the pomegranate itself. This gut-produced substance crosses into the bloodstream and then crosses into the brain, something most gut-produced compounds cannot do, and accumulates specifically in the memory center. Once in the memory center, this substance does something very direct. It energizes the connections between memory cells, making them fire more readily, more accurately, and more reliably when the brain tries to retrieve a stored memory. Think of it like lubricating the locks on filing cabinets that have become slightly stiff. The files are all there. They were always there. The locks just needed lubricating so they open readily when you reach for them. This is why researchers describe pomegranate as specifically restoring memory retrieval rather than just protecting memory. It targets the act of pulling memories out when needed, not just the storing of new ones. A study from UCLA found that adults who drank pomegranate juice daily for 4 weeks showed significantly better performance on memory retrieval tasks, specifically the ability to recall names, words, and visual information they had previously learned. Brain imaging showed measurably increased activity in the memory center during retrieval tasks in the pomegranate group compared to the control group. How to drink it. 1 small glass, approximately 150 milliliters, of 100% pomegranate juice daily, morning or afternoon. Available in every supermarket. Look for pure juice with no added sugar or dilution. The deeper the red color, the higher the active compound concentration. 5. The one that surprised researchers the most and will surprise most viewers when they hear it. A daily warm cacao drink. Not hot chocolate from a packet. Pure cacao powder in warm milk or water. And what it does specifically to the memory center of the brain is something that Harvard researchers have been studying for years, with results that continue to exceed expectations. Japan has a deep relationship with high-quality dark chocolate and pure cacao. Japanese confectionery culture values the purest, most intensely flavored cacao products, and pure cacao powder dissolved in warm milk or water as a daily drink has become increasingly popular among health-conscious Japanese women over 60 as an alternative to green tea in the evening. Pure cacao, not the sugar-laden hot chocolate mix familiar in the West, contains some of the highest concentrations of a specific group of compounds called flavonols of any food available. These compounds do something very specific in the brain that has drawn the sustained attention of memory researchers at some of the world's leading institutions. They increase blood flow to the memory center, specifically and measurably, not generally to the whole brain, specifically to the memory center. When blood flow to this area increases, the memory center receives more oxygen, more fuel, and more of the resources it needs to form new memories, retrieve existing ones, and maintain its own connections. Think of it like turning up the water pressure specifically to the most important room in the building, while the rest of the building stays the same. After 60, blood flow to the memory center naturally reduces slightly as blood vessels stiffen. Flavonols from pure cacao counteract this reduction, keeping the pressure up specifically where it matters most for memory. A major study from Harvard Medical School found that adults who consumed high flavonol cacao daily for 12 weeks showed measurably increased blood flow to the memory center, and that memory test performance improved significantly, with the greatest improvements seen in adults over 60 who had the lowest baseline blood flow to this area. The cacao was specifically helping those who needed it most. How to drink it. 1 heaped teaspoon of pure unsweetened cacao powder, not hot chocolate mix, stirred into warm milk or oat milk. Add a small amount of honey if desired. 1 cup daily, morning or evening. Available in every supermarket in the baking aisle. Pure cacao powder, the memory center turned up.
5 drinks, all available in your nearest supermarket. All drunk daily by Japanese women over 60 whose memory stays sharp year after year. 5 ways of naturally restoring what most women assume is simply fading with age, starting tomorrow morning. Subscribe for new brain health videos. Leave a comment. Which of these 5 are you trying first? I will see you at the next video. Stay sharp.